Yo, what's up, what's going on, everyone? I'm back with another video on this channel. For today's video, you're going to be watching Philip DeFranco and his video that he put out yesterday, just talking about all the news, talking about all the drama, all the stuff. So we're going to be watching this video, and I'm going to be giving my opinion on it. I like watching Philip DeFranco. You know, sometimes he could definitely be biased, but he's like probably my most reliable news source when it comes to like, you know, like actual news going around. You know, I don't really watch cable news, so this is probably the closest thing I have to that besides Drama Alert and Scarce. So yeah, let's just get into it.
Y'all, the ocean was on fire this weekend, and that somehow only managed to keep people's attention for like 12 minutes. People saw that video, they were like, is this a movie? No, it's real life. That's horrifying. Someone should do something about it. Let's meme it. And some of those were just like top tier content that helps, you know, all of us deal with the hellscape that is reality right now. And then Mark Zuckerberg did this, and everyone was like, what is...
So I'm guessing that happened because of an oil fire. I've been really into like environmental stuff and just kind of like into like the whole environmental scene. You know, how much our world is kind of crumbling down, and it's actually wild. You know, I don't want to make this video too depressing, but it's crazy, dude. The stuff that we're doing to our environment.
Why is he doing a normal human thing, but still he seems like a lizard person? But among other things, I think it highlights how overloaded, exhausted, and desensitized we've become to the news cycle, which is why today I'm going to try to give you the last 72 hours of news as fast as possible. Your one dose of poison today, so you can hopefully go back to whatever the hell it was you were doing beforehand that makes your life better. And so as we jump into it, I just want to say a massive thank you to the fantastic sponsor of today's show, Public Performance,
not my sponsor.
the unexpected death of her biological mother. This, of course, has stirred a massive debate, but my general reaction is I understand that the rules are the rules, but the rules here are stupid. Like, this wasn't a hot dog eating contest, which, by the way, congratulations again.
Yeah, so I fully agree with the statement that he made. So if you don't know, she got banned for using marijuana in the Olympics. Everyone knows that marijuana isn't a performance enhancer drug. It doesn't help you. If anything, it would actually make you worse in running. So it's dumb. It's dumb that the fact that they banned her for it. But at the same time, a rule is a rule. She probably shouldn't have done that. Why risk it in the first place? But I mean, it shouldn't be a rule in general. But I mean, it's just like, you know, you costed of possibly winning a gold medal just to smoke some weed. It wasn't worth it in the first place. But again, she wouldn't have to face this consequence if this rule wasn't in place. Which is, to be honest, even if you disagree or agree with legalizing weed, it's stupid because it doesn't enhance your ability to run faster than people. If anything, it does the opposite of that. So it's stupid. It's stupid.
To Joey Chestnut, this was a foot race. You lost a foot race to someone that was high? In my eyes, she destroyed the competition while handicapping herself, because if marijuana in any way was a performance-enhancing drug in this field, last year during the pandemic, I would have broken the land speed record. And understand, I get it. The rules are the rules, but the rules are based off of decades of ignorance and fear-mongering regarding marijuana. It's as simple as that for me. Then, you should know, in an interview yesterday, Dr. Anti-Vax...
But I kind of understand it. It's, look, if... Because you could say the same thing about like other drugs that don't like help out your game, like besides steroids, pretty much everything else that wouldn't help out your game. Well, those aren't legal. So I mean, it's interesting. I think I am more on the side of, yeah, it probably shouldn't be a rule just because it's legalized in so many states here in the United States. Let's just legalize it everywhere at this point. I mean, if we're making it legal in some places, just make it legal in everywhere. That's how how I view it. But the thing is, when it's with the Olympics, that's where it starts getting a little bit more tricky because of different countries and stuff. So it's weird.
She said that about 99.2% of all COVID deaths right now in the United States involve people who have not been vaccinated. My response to that statement and this news is, one, well, yeah, duh, that was the whole thing. That's why we wanted people to get vaccinated. And two, yeah, screw it. Okay, let's keep everything open. Myself and people like me have spent the past year and a half saying, please, just wear a mask. Yeah, go out, but please wear a mask. Please get vaccinated. It's mainly for other people, right? It's not about just keeping yourself safe, it's about other people. But guess what? It's July now. In the United States, at least, most other people have been vaccinated. And the people in this country that have still not gotten vaccinated, right? They're eligible, they could get it, and they have decided, no, they have made it abundantly clear that they want to be the control group in the experiment that is COVID-19 and the vaccinations. And to that, I say, okay, great. Like a lot of people, I think I'm just done with trying to convince someone to get the vaccine, like all the potential debates and the science that could have convinced someone that was on the line or said they were on the line. It feels like it should have happened at this point. I mean, hell, governments realized, okay, that that is a road that's not getting us across the line. What if we gave people $1 million? Let's turn it into a lottery. Maybe that'll get more people. And understand, if you're watching this as someone that is not vaccinated, this is not me trying to shame you or convince you or anything. I'm just letting you know that I don't care what happens to you. You have made your choice, especially if you happen to be one of these people that are making yourself out to be the victim of the situation because you have chosen not to get the vaccine. For example, as I was finishing up today's show, I had people sending me Corinna Kopf's tweet. Of course, we've talked about her with OnlyFans and such. She's massively successful. She has a really large following, and she was seemingly tweeting about why she's not going to get this vaccine. Writing, no one talks about the anxiety some people face when asked to take a vaccine. We are consistently asked.
Right. Karina obviously isn't a smart person. But me personally, I haven't gotten vaccinated. I'm going to eventually at some point. I just haven't done it. Like when I was like a little kid, I had a really traumatic experience with shots, and I'm just really scared of shots. Like not what's actually inside of you. I'm not like anti-vax. It's just like the actual like shot going inside of like of of me. Pause. But like it's just I don't know. I'm gonna get it eventually. It's just. Corinna is just being stupid. I mean, anxiety, yeah, sure, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get it at all. Because, if unless you're completely just anti-vax to everything, then you get shots at one point or another. So to say it's anxiety that's stopping you from getting COVID-19 really isn't a good enough excuse because you've gotten other shots before. For me, I'm just a really big wimp, and I'm still building up the courage of doing it. I'm going to get it at some point, but everyone needs to get it. Everyone needs to get it. Everyone needs to get it.
But all that is thrown out the window when someone's nervousness is taken as selfishness. When people called her anti-vax, she went on to say that she has all the other vaccines, she plans on vaccinating her kids. And my reaction to Corinna and other people like Corinna is, at this point, I don't think it's even selfishness. I think it's just stupidity, and that you're free to be stupid. You're free to do that, free to decide what you put in your body, but also people are free to then make fun of you if you're gonna publicly talk about it. And I think it would take someone that's a special kind of stupid to look to a Corinna Kopf and go like, that's where I should get any sort of information regarding vaccine, because that would probably be as beneficial as going to a Phase K or Rice Gum about what shitcoins they should invest in, especially ones that
I think Philip DeFranco is being a little bit too harsh towards people that don't want to get vaccinated because they have major anxiety about it. It's just, what Corinna said. She said, I'm vaccinated with other stuff. So you've had that shots before. It's just you have the anxiety about the actual vaccine, like the stuff that goes inside of you, and that's the stupid part. But like I can get where you're like, okay, I'm just like afraid of shots in general, but like yeah, just everyone needs to get vaccinated.
It's pretty much. The story isn't with something about Corinna, right? This is more about the group as a whole, whether it be anti-vax in general or vaccine hesitant with this specific vaccine. We have hard data, double-blind studies, all the good stuff. You have anecdotal Facebook stories that get shared a lot in your town. And you can dislike this video all you want, because I've seen what you like and you share, and I rejoice in not having your support. Also, over the weekend, you had the CDC warning people about a non-COVID thing, and that was this GIF of a young girl apparently having diarrhea down a water slide with the caption, "Don't leave your mark at the pool this summer." With a caption from the CDC recommending don't swim or let your kids swim if sick with diarrhea. And while I want to be like, oh wow, the CDC is so dumb, while yes, anecdotal, I've talked to a few people that have done lifeguard duty at public pools and stuff, and apparently this is actually a problem. Like we all know, people nasty.
Bro, that's disgusting. I went to the water park like 2 weeks. That's disgusting. Really? Are parents that stupid? Are parents that stupid that you bring your child with diarrhea to a water park? Really?
If you're getting in a pool with other
Come
people,
on,
you're
bro.
probably swimming in at least a fraction of their pee. But we thought the line stopped at poop. But, pun intended, apparently not. Then, in what feels like the now weekly news that's meant to get you to click on an article to make you be like, oh, I could have been rich and I'm an idiot because when I was a kid, I actually played with the kid toy thing rather than putting it in some hermetically sealed container news. An extremely rare sealed copy of Nintendo's first Legend of Zelda game, which was released in 1987, has gone up for auction for $110,000. So notably, the auction house said this one is especially rare due to its incredibly rare variant that holds early production status. Going on to say that this version, the NES-R, was only produced for a few months before being replaced by a new version. And while technically there is an earlier variant that does exist, there's only believed to be a single copy. So, in effect, the variant of the game being offered now is the earliest sealed copy one could realistically hope to obtain. But yeah, ultimately, the main thing here, and it could be motivational or demotivational depending on who you are as a human being, but just let this be your daily reminder that nothing inherently has worth. The only reason this thing sells for $110,000 or $200,000 or $1 million is because one space monkey was willing to take his number of props and give it to another space monkey. And then a lot of the other space monkeys go, wow, that's $1 million thing. I mean, most of you wouldn't pay $1 million for it, but someone would, and apparently that's the cost now. Which, actually kind of perfect segue here. We had YouTuber and entrepreneur Nadeshot responding to backlash over the weekend on social media over the pricing of his 100 Thieves Foundations collection. And this, in part because over the weekend he replied to a user who tweeted, Nadeshot and 100 Thieves should be ashamed due to a $135 hoodie that was listed on his site. With Nadeshot responding, that's a $135 anorak, not a hoodie. We are an apparel brand, not a merch company. We hire the best designers, we work with the best manufacturers, and we use the best materials. With that user actually thanking him for the clarification, but then also adding, still ridiculous pricing and out of the price range of most. Fleece shorts for $60.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy pricing, but this is how rich people make money, right? I mean, yeah, Nate Shot's doing his job, you know? People are buying his stuff. Why wouldn't he charge that amount? Why wouldn't he charge that amount? So he's smart for doing that. I give him credit for that.
Ultimately, this is another example of two things. One, the market will decide what the market decides. Most all apparel companies understand that it's really just a math equation. How many people can I get to buy something at $135 compared to if that same product was sold, let's say, for $100? Or if you have essentially the same product priced both ways and you sell the exact same amount, you're talking about a price difference.
Right. National's just playing the statistics here. He's just playing the statistics. You really can't blame him for that. It's everyone else's fault for buying that. He's the smart one here.
Of about $35,000 in net revenue. But the hope there is that if you price something lower, it is more accessible, more people will buy it. But to make the same amount of profit from that cheaper item, they have to sell 350 more of that item. Although
yeah, no doubt he's making good profit off of this.
Once again, nothing inherently has worth, and value is only attributed because one space monkey told another space monkey, okay, I'll give you that much. And part of the reason why some brands may sell compared to others is because the cost makes them exclusionary. Then in, oh no, why is this celebrity trending news? We had Mia Khalifa trending, and here there appears to be some confusion. A lot of the most recent stuff being kind of like horny bonk memes, people confused why she was trending. It appears this actually stemmed from yesterday when, to celebrate July 4th, Mia Khalifa posted on her story,
Happy 4th of July. I just want to remind you guys on this beautiful Independence Day that all America does is destabilize other countries and then treat refugees and immigrants from those destabilized countries like second-class citizens and trash.
And obviously,
by the way, I was looking at her eyes the entire time. So that's such a trashy statement to make on 4th of July. Like, obviously, everyone should know the United States isn't the best country in the world. We've made plenty mistakes. There are plenty problems in the United States. But on the 4th of July is when people are supposed to come together and celebrate, you know, this country of freedom, because we have probably the most freedom in the country, in the world. And so we should appreciate that freedom, but it doesn't mean that there are not problems. Mia Khalifa just went a terrible route of doing it, of addressing it.
July 4th, that stirred, let's call it a lively debate. One that, like with any of today's stories, you can continue in the comments down below. Play nice though, or don't. I'm not your daddy. Then pour one out for the homie Jeff Bezos and use whatever you got on hand, whether it be a 40, a drink, if you work at Amazon, maybe one of your pee bottles. And that is because today the founder of Amazon, the $1.75 trillion empire, has officially stepped down as the company's CEO, with him being replaced by Andy Jassy, who previously headed Amazon Web Services as its CEO. And this news and transition is happening at a very pivotal moment for Amazon because, yes, Amazon is so massive, they're crushing it. They're actually on their way to become the #1 employer in the United States, only behind Walmart. But this is also happening at a time where Amazon's really facing unprecedented pressure both from the public and employees.
That's
It's
wild.
like more and more employees by the day being outspoken about how shitty it is to work there. Right? I mean, there was a report that came out like 2-3 weeks ago that showed that their turnover for hourly employees was 150%. And so I think we'll see in the first 100 days if anything is drastically different under this new CEO. But also keep in mind, Bezos, who is the company's largest individual shareholder, still has a major presence on the board as its executive chair. But this is also freeing Bezos up for some other ventures, including he's going to the edge of space later this month with his other company, Blue Origin, which is very notable, but also all this news, it really...
Hey man, and going back to the environmental stuff at the beginning, you see so many rich people trying to venture out to space because they know they're not going to be able to live on this planet for too much longer, so...
Shows that space is in some way like a billionaire's dick measuring contest. Right, Bezos was in the news because he was going to be on this Blue Origin flight. Oh, this is big news. There was an auction. You could get a seat with Bezos. Right, everyone's talking about this, and then fucking Richard Branson bursts through the door and shouts first. With it being reported that he's going to try to get to space first by 9 days on Virgin Galactic. Also, if you're wondering, yes, Branson has been asked that question.
Just one question. Are you trying to beat Jeff Bezos into space?
Jeff who?
Jeff Bezos.
Of course that's the reason, of course. The general public never remembers the second person to do anything. Though, this also isn't going to be where the dick measuring contests end. If anything, it's just going to turn into a dick measuring debate. Because reportedly, even if Branson does launch first, Bezos could argue that he didn't really go to space. And that's because Branson's Spaceship 2 doesn't reach the 62-mile altitude most often considered the edge of outer space. But with Blue Origin, Bezos would. He'd pass what is known as the Kármán line. We also got the news that former To Catch a Predator host Chris Hansen had to turn himself into police after a judge issued a warrant for his arrest when he failed to show up in court. And reportedly, this was because Hansen had been subpoenaed to explain why he hadn't given defense lawyers video evidence of a sting operation that he assisted on that involved 3 men who were charged with attempting to solicit underage girls for sex. But with this, you have Hansen saying essentially this was all a miscommunication. But according to reports, Hansen had provided edited video, but one of the defendants demanded the full footage be handed over, arguing that it could provide exonerating evidence. With Hansen's lawyer saying that his failure to appear in court was due to a misunderstanding, and he was released from jail with the warrant rescinded shortly after he turned himself in, and he's actually been given 14 days to turn in the uncut video. Then in our what the fuck...
Wait, so he's going to prison because he didn't turn someone in, right? I don't know if I heard that right. I don't know. That's
headline
weird.
of the day. We've got our winner.
Weird.
Depraved prison guard pleads guilty to having sex with an inmate in front of other inmates. Though, I do want to note, I feel like everyone's been burying the lead with this story. Right, yeah, you have a California corrections officer who's convicted, is going to spend 210 days in jail, serving then 2 years of probation, saying, yeah, when she should have been doing her job, she was having sex with an inmate in front of 11 other inmates, but she was going through a hard time in her marriage, saying it was never her intention to bring any harm or danger to the employees in the jail or anyone else in the jail. Except that the next line of one of these articles, it reads, in addition to sex, Gonzalez reportedly gave the inmate razor blades and a cell phone.
What?
And she tipped him off of cell searches. Like,
What? What's going on?
get why the headline is what it is. It's a spin-off version of the classic attractive female teacher does something with a student that she's not supposed to do. But like also she was in a position of power and she gave a convicted criminal a weapon and then told him how to keep it. That's the concern for me. As far as the sex, that's just an unorthodox crowd control measure. Also, on the note of high tensions, we had the news that around 200 members of the white supremacist group, the Patriot Front, marched in front of Philadelphia City Hall over the weekend wearing white face coverings, khakis, blue shirts, and tan hats. And though it appeared that they were the victims of a tiki torch shortage, according to Philadelphia police, that didn't stop the members from waving flags and chanting "Reclaim America," and the election was stolen. But also, reportedly, the march was cut short when angry onlookers started yelling at the men, some reportedly engaging in scuffles. Also, a police officer telling reporters that this large group of men eventually got scared by a handful of people that were yelling at them, saying these males felt threatened, and at one point, somebody threw a smoke bomb to cover their retreat, and they literally ran away from the people of Philadelphia. Which brings me to the two main points of this story. One, yeah, fuck white supremacists, run away, you little bitches. And two, I have a general rule in life. It is for my personal safety and well-being, and that is never fuck with Philly or someone from Philly.
Yeah, that was the wrong place to do it, man. As a white supremacist, as white supremacist people, why would you go to Philadelphia? Idiots. I mean, they're idiots for multiple reasons. But like, why Philadelphia?
Philadelphia puts the battery and assault and battery, if you know that history. And hell, most of that is just with rival sport teams, let alone fucking white supremacists.
I know,
Hopefully that is
Jesus.
the end of today's show, other than two final things.
Alright guys, that's been the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's been Dave. Peace.